Okay, children, we move ahead to the next topic of this chapter, natural vegetation and wildlife. Natural vegetation is flora, plants, and fauna is animals. So we learn about these two main important resources, natural vegetation and wildlife. Now, children, where do we find natural vegetation and wildlife? Where does it exist? So it exists in the biosphere. Now what is biosphere? It is the narrow zone of contact between lithosphere, that is land on which we are standing, water, all the water bodies, and atmosphere, which is above the land and below the sky. Yes, when they come in close contact, we call that as biosphere. And when all these three are there, then there is where you find living beings, isn't it? So you can see if this is atmosphere, this is hydrosphere, this is lithosphere, land, and when three come in contact, we have biosphere. Yes, it is the sphere where we find living beings. Now in all these spheres, these living beings are interrelated to each other for survival. For example, we humans, we live on land. Yes, we are using lithosphere. We need air to breathe from the atmosphere, and water to drink. We get it from hydrosphere. Yes, so this life supporting system is called as ecosystem. So ecosystem is nothing but a biosphere in which living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. Got it? Children, let us see the importance of natural vegetation and wildlife. So what do the natural vegetation, why is it important? Yes, you can see they produce oxygen which we breathe. Yes, then they protect the soil, they act as shelter belts, they give shelter to animals, then it helps in storage of underground water, it provides timber. Yes, then it gives fruits, nuts, oil, rubber, gum, paper, and medicinal plants. So you see that how essential natural vegetation is. Let us see how important wildlife is. Yes, wildlife includes animals, birds, insects, as well as aquatic life forms. What do they provide us with? Milk, meat, honey, hide, wool, eggs, silk. All these are provided by wildlife. Then they also play an important part as decomposers. So birds feed on insects and act as decomposers. Vultures, due to its ability to feed on dead livestock, is a scavenger and considered as a vital cleanser of the environment. Then the bees help in pollination and also plays an important part as decomposers in the ecosystem. Yes, so all these, you see the importance of wildlife and natural vegetation. They are an important resource, and that is why this chapter is on land. We have learned about land, we have learned about water, soil. Now we are learning about natural vegetation and wildlife. So you see their importance. Children, now let us see the distribution of natural vegetation in the world. Let us first see the factors on which vegetation depends. Its temperature, that means the sunshine, and moisture is the rainfall. Now we can divide the entire natural vegetation of the world into four categories: forests, grasslands, scrubs, and tundra. Now let us see the forest. Now where do we find forest? In areas where we get heavy rainfall, and there huge tall trees grow. They grow so tall that they form canopies. You have learnt about this last year also. Now let us learn there are two types of forest: evergreen forest and deciduous forest. Where is evergreen forest found? They are found in areas with heavy rainfall and sunshine, and they do not shed their leaves simultaneously in any season. Okay, it's not that they shed all their leaves in the season. Yes, it depends on the season. They keep shedding their trees, and that is why they remain green throughout the year. Examples of evergreen are rosewood and sandalwood. Now, deciduous forests are found in areas where there is moderate, cool climate with moderate rainfall, and they shed their leaves in a particular season of the year normally. So, and what kind of trees are we find in deciduous forest? They are oak, cedar, and fir. Okay, now we go to the next one. Next type of natural vegetation is grassland. Children, will see the next type of vegetation, grassland. They are found normally in areas with moderate rainfall. Here there are short trees and tall grasses grow here. That is why the name is called as grassland. Let's go to scrubs. Where are they found? They are found in areas which are normally dry and very low rainfall. And here thorny shrubs and scrubs grow here. These plants have deep roots and their leaves are thorny and have a waxy surface. Now, where is tundra vegetation found? They are normally found in the cold regions, normally in the polar regions. And what kind of plants grow here? They are mosses and lichens grow here. So, what are the four types of vegetation? Forest, second is grasslands, then scrubs, and then tundra. Children, now let's look into the factors which destroy flora, that is vegetation and wildlife. So what are the factors? We have already learnt about it earlier also. They are deforestation, soil erosion, constructional activities, forest fires, tsunamis, landslide, and the last one is poaching. Poaching is hunting of animals and then illegally trading their hides, that is skin, nails, teeth, horns, as well as even feathers. Now, some of these animals that are hunted are lion, tiger, elephant, deer, black bug, snow leopard, ostrich. All these are hunted for their skin or their teeth. Yes, and then they illegally traded at a higher price. Children, now since natural resources and wildlife are a very important resource, we must conserve it. And the government has taken steps to conserve it. Let us see what the government has done to protect the national vegetation and wildlife. So what has done? It has built national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves. It has also started conservation of lakes, creeks, and wetlands to restore groundwater. It has banned poaching and killing of animals, hunting and killing of animals, and doing illegal trade. It has also created awareness programs like One Mahotsav. That means teaching children to protect the forest and the villagers and all around, that we must plant more trees. Now, it has also started afforestation, planting of more trees to protect forest and prevent forest fires from happening. Yes, and also the government has set up a forest research institute so that they can find more ways for conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. Indian government has also signed an international agreement which is called as CITES. Now, full form is the Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. Now, what happened? This is an agreement to ensure that international trade in species of wild animals and plant does not threaten their survival, and roughly 5,000 species of plants and animals are protected. And some of the animals which are going to get extinct, make sure that they are protected. So this is an international agreement to protect animals and plants from getting extinct. So with this, children, we come to the end of the chapter, and we have learned the important resources, which is land, soil, water, natural vegetation, and wildlife.